Andrew, you want to give a quick introduction here?
Sure. I'm just seeing. Looks like we have a pretty good turnout. Trying to see what names I recognize. So, and I apologize. I'm doing this from my phone. I'm kind of in between the life of real estate, as you guys all are, in between showings. So, hopefully my phone connection stays pretty well. But Michael, John, and myself all pretty much run the day-to-day for Black Label, which I guess most of you have heard of. We focus just really, it's high-end, luxury is really our shtick, something that we kind of have worked really, really hard to build. And main office is in Philadelphia. We have a pretty good presence in the main line of Philly as well, and then New Hope. So New Hope is kind of a new territory for us the last year, and that's been going well. We've just been seeing a lot of people kind of moving out of the suburb, like the traditional suburban and urban areas, and New Hope's been booming. So, our specialty, we have a lot of luxury rental buildings. Some of you may have heard of the AKA products, the Atlantic buildings. Ritz-Carlton is one of our brands. And then we have a lot of kind of, significant estate properties, trophy properties up on the main line as well. Michael's been with us for how long?
About 3 years now.
Can you hear me, Michael?
What was that?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, buddy.
Oh, it's working now. Okay, it's been problematic.
Okay, I'm glad you got it working. Good, I'm glad you're here. Yeah, 3 years.
Our team now we have a pretty small, but I would say small but strong team. Everyone, pretty good production level. We all work together. We have, how big is our team now? I always changes.
10 agents.
Yeah, there's 14 of us, but that's including, the marketing and the assistants and all that as well.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's kind of what we're known for. I'm sure I'm missing a lot of things, but I know we kind of wanted it, like, not necessarily talk as much about ourselves, but kind of
Answer
see
questions.
how we can help you.
Yeah, but
answer questions.
The number one thing, before I let you start, go ahead and ask away, because that's the best way you get information. We wanted to do in a luxury brand. So we believe, I think all of us believe, I think you should believe as well, that branding, marketing is a huge part of creating and carving out a niche in real estate. And that's why we developed Black Label, because it was already a built-in marketing. It was built-in high-end brands, your Black Label, Johnny Walker Black ties, Black whatever. It just normally, to us, was already a promoted product for many, many decades.
Yeah.
So we're able to incorporate and get a trademark and a patent with Black Label. And we're the only ones that have this patent in the entire country. And even though we have noticed that people have been using Black Label, we'll address that at one time. But that was it, really, to carve out a real niche in the market.
Great. Christine, you want to run through the questions? We'll answer. How would you like to do this?
Yeah, we can definitely run it that way. I do see one of our agents has a hand up, so I wanted to see if Shantae, do you have a question for them?
Yes. Hi, this is Shantae. I'm sorry, Christina. I was just trying to answer you in the chat, but you called on me before I had a chance.
You're fine.
So I heard you guys say that you took specific steps to break into the luxury market. Can you tell me what some of those things that you did to accomplish that?
It's a great question.
Yeah, so I think everybody wants, I only want to do luxury, and that's it's an easy thing to say. It's not an easy thing to do. So one, like John was talking about, you kind of have to have a brand, some type of, specialty, something that, it's not just sticking a luxury tag on it. I think right now we've kind of been oversaturated with, what the word luxury means. It means something very, very different to everyone. We have a built-in platform for our luxury portfolio of properties. All of the branding looks the same. All of our marketing looks the same. We don't take every listing, it kind of has to check the boxes of what a luxury property. And sometimes it's not just about price, it's about amenities. It's about, everything that one would consider a luxury lifestyle. So, I think you kind of have to think about those things with your market. What does that mean to the people that are in your market that you serve, right? And again, it's not just about price point, because you can have a luxury product in one part of the country that's 400,000 and somewhere else in the country it's 4 million. So, there's a pretty big spread of luxury. I mean, we worked really hard about getting a website that really has a very high level of touch and service feel, the marketing, our videos, just how we present ourselves. I think that's also key. And I only say that because we've become very casual in society. And, we show up like, John's always wearing a suit. We don't wear shorts. We don't wear sneakers. We really look like somebody that should be representing a high-end property. And even if our clients are wearing sneakers and shorts, they can wear whatever they want, but we can't. We don't have that luxury. We work for them and we need to represent them. So it's, breaking into it, I think everybody wants to know what that means. I think it's also, you have to really understand the product. You have to know, even if you don't have a luxury listing right now or a luxury buyer, you have to go out and understand, what does the luxury market look like where you are. Pretty big
Yeah, I
problem.
think that's key, what you just said there. You need to know your market, right, Andrea, what your market is luxury, right? Like, let's say you're in Atlantic City in a certain neighborhood, right? 500,000 might be your luxury market, right? That's luxury, but it's also the way you treat your clients and your customers, clients, public, how you come across in a luxury way, right? It's not always, as Andrea said, about price point. We on Black Label, we try to keep it at $1 million and above, right? We're 90% of our listings and our product are $1 million and above, right? 90%, but we don't like to turn away business. And sometimes, a 500,000, 600,000 is still considered, luxury. But in our particular brand, we try to always hedge with the million. Now, in your neighborhood, whatever that community is, whatever that market is, you make that your goal to say, we're achieving $500,000 is our luxury brand. We're going to 500,000 and above. And I think you really need to stick to that, because if you don't, your product becomes diluted. People say, I thought this was a luxury market. You're selling something for $120,000 or a $75,000 fixer upper. I mean, that's not luxury, right? So you really got to commit yourself into the luxury branding and the luxury market.
Well, and even if you're not focused just on luxury, but you want to represent more luxury listings, you have to make sure, and like, just selling all luxury isn't an option for everybody, because it's just, unfortunately, there's not that many listings. So you're going to sell other stuff, but you have to make sure that when you're representing a non-luxury product, that your luxury listings look different than your non-luxury listings. So if you're gonna, like, a lot of agents sell anything that comes their way, and that's fine. We all need to live and we all need to eat. But if you're going to represent a luxury product, it can't look like your $100,000 listing. It has to look different. It has to, there's more marketing. The marketing has to look different. The videos have to be different. Everything has to be different.
Yeah, branding, our marketing director, Michael, is the key to the company, right? Michael is 24/7 creative, there for the agents, making sure everything's on point as far as what we do in luxury, making sure everything is polished, overseeing the products, overseeing the pictures that are going on listings. Andrea is very, very tuned into that. What if we're going to do a rendering, what it should look like. It's not easy, the luxury market, because the clients are very demanding. They expect a hell of a lot from you because they've been around the block quite a few times, right? They have many of our clients are very wealthy, and they demand perfection as much as possible. So the communication is vital. The input is vital follow-ups are vital. And, it gets tough, it gets tough when you have a listing that's been sitting for a while and it's a multi-million-dollar listing. And probably the most difficult thing to do in everyone's world in real estate is convince the buyer that it's overpriced, right? So you can imagine a level when it's a few million, and convincing someone that put so-and-so into the house that it's overpriced. All right. So those are the difficulties we all face on different levels.
Great. I can jump off that a little bit if you'd like as well. So one of the questions I saw, which I loved, said, do you hire marketing companies or do you do that all in-house? We do that all in-house, and I'm a firm believer of teaching what I know. So we have a new hire coming on board. She started off as an intern with us for 6-7 months, right? It was just a great fit. Now I'm teaching her everything I know, and she's jumping into a role. So she exactly knows what we're looking for, what our brand looks like, what it feels like, start to finish. And then, we have that next level of that next person coming in. I think that's very, very important. When you hire outside marketing companies, your vision is only as far as that you have time of the day to put in with those companies. But when you have a whole in-house crew, your creativity, the autonomy that comes with that, and everything else just, helps everything grow. It's really, really, really important. I saw one other question, which I thought was really great too, at least for me. Let me pull this back up here. It said, how does marketing luxury properties differ from marketing a regular price point? So I've been doing marketing in real estate for 7+ years now, and maybe 8 now, I think. And I've been with Black Label for 3 of these. What I came from was just regular price point, $300,000 houses here in Philadelphia and everything. And I learned from the original broker of Keller Williams Philadelphia at the time and his team. And he taught me everything he knew and how to market. And we just worked extremely well together for years until I branched off on my own, helping other agents get their brand started. The thing I like about Black Label when I came in, the luxury price point, everything I thought I knew, you could take most of it, throw it out the window. It's just such a different animal, different beast. Every little detail matters, as these guys have made the point. And so what Andre and John have taught me being with them is when we develop this brand and we're expanding on it, we had to make sure that we picked key points to follow about the brand. And one of them I always like to say is about the brand is it's calm. Nothing's ever rushed. We want to make sure that all our marketing looks purposeful and detail oriented at all times. No mistakes were made, right? This is very, very, very important, especially when you're working again with high-end luxury clients. They're going to nitpick everything. One of the other things is a cool factor. I like, we've teamed up and paired with other companies like Ferrari for special events. And just everything about their brand and what they do is just so fantastic and a high level. It was something that I wanted to replicate with us and what I could pull from them. There always has to be that wow factor to what we do. And finally, and most important, I would say sophistication. Just every day is a black tie event for us, whether it's, as Andrea pointed out, going on a listing, you're in a suit, you're dressed well, your branding, when we give out our listing packets, I don't have one here, but we give them out in hardbound books. Right. So we custom print everything. Every page is done immaculately. Every page tells a story about our brand. And again, the book's in a big hardbound Black Label book, has a nice silk soft touch to it. And you're handing this client for this $2-3 million home, this booklet. And even if they don't even flip through it, it's that expectation, that level. Here's what we are. Here's what we give, and what we'll give in return and expect from you guys. So I thought that was a nice point to jump off on. John, you're muted.
And also, you're
Sorry.
you spoke about earlier.
I had to switch over.
It can't look the same, right? Marketing,
What's that?
when you're doing a luxury property, you're spending money. You're not just, our budget is much different for the dollars that we're putting into these properties. You're doing a high quality video. You're doing a very high quality brochure. Some of these properties you need to build individual websites for. You need to do mailers for. You need to have events for. It's not just doing one thing. It's doing a multitude of things. And then sometimes you have to do them all over again if you don't get the result they want and the sellers aren't happy. One of the biggest objections for us, I would say, and I'm sure John will have an opinion on it, but most of these sellers think that their houses are one of a kind. So it's kind of, coming up with pricing and, they're not cookie cutter homes. So it's just really knowing the market when you do get called into some of these homes and understanding really what makes it unique. What's the finish level? What kind of floors are they? What kind of roof? What kind of windows? What kind of countertops? What kind of systems does it have? It's just not saying like, okay, well, the neighbor's house sold for $3 million. That makes my house worth this. It's really understanding, what makes that home so special.
Yeah, I mean, they don't want to hear the word comp. Many times they don't hate the word comp because they feel our homes are not part of a comp. They're special homes, right? So we try to lean away from that a little bit, and we call them specialty homes, extraordinary homes, and we also connect ourselves with other luxury products, right? We have connected with Ferrari, right? We do, when we have an open house, it's like all out, we have Ferrari, test driving a Ferrari. We have watches at the event, jewelry, the show that we're a part of luxury, right? And those clients that can afford those cars, those Ferraris and such are ones that are coming to see our properties, right? So we try to connect ourselves with other luxury products, try to keep everything in the luxury genre. This way, when people speak about Black Label, it's purely luxury. We don't like zero dilution. Got to keep the brand the way it is and keep it pure and keep it high end.
Yeah. That's good. I saw a question I think somebody put in the chat. Let you guys answer this one. What are 3 of the major objections you deal with for sellers?
Pricing, kind of everyone worth more than
Yeah.
maybe it is. This market is very different. It's been so crazy. I'm sure it's crazy for you guys even more so down the shore, as we know. Things have been just flying in record sales. So it's good, but I think it also makes it very hard to price things right now because it's just the sellers are kind of now in control or have been. It's going to change at some point. So, pricing,
Open
we had one house that
they don't like
sold
open houses
right away that John was involved with, and it sold right away. So then they said, oh, well, then we priced it too low. It's like, well, no, it sold because it was priced right. Just because it sold right away doesn't mean that it was underpriced.
That's a great
So,
right.
What was that other one, John? You said open houses, right?
Yeah, many of our sellers do not want an open house because most of them are pretty private, and so to attract attention, put it on the radar, we can do like private broker opens, that they're more in tune to that. But even that, they're not they don't like people coming into their homes. So that's why we try to set up a little soiree, a little something special to do if we're doing something at an open house. Or maybe once in a while, we'll just hold an event at the house, which they like, and then it's high end, they're catered, there's music, and it shows off their house in the light they want it to be showed off in. They don't want people just coming in. Sometimes it's like difficult. We have a seller that this house should have sold a long time ago. And Andre knows what I'm talking about over there in Gladwin, that they just say, oh, we have a showing. No, not today, or not tomorrow. No, not at 3. No, not at this time. No. Do you really want to sell your home? And I have a buyer that was truly interested, and we've had this before. They give up. They said, listen, we tried 3 times now and we can't get in a house, so there's difficulties in every single way. Once in a while, you have an incredible seller that's, is very nice to work with, right? But at the same time, that seller demands that you better come through. You're held accountable. Anything goes wrong, You're not blaming a title company. You're not blaming anything. You're not blaming the developer. You're blaming you. You're the bottom line. You're the reason. That's the trust factor. You got to have that trust factor, and you better absorb punches when need be, because most of the times they, even though you feel they may not be 100% right, they are the client, and at times you're at the end. You need to take accountability. I think that's very important.
Agree. Christine, you have another question you want to jump off of?
Anything? I do. What, and whoever can answer this, more than one can answer it as well. What has been your biggest win and your biggest challenge in the luxury market?
I think, selling some of these homes, the biggest, we have a couple wins recently, that were very large kind of record-breaking sales. But they were also challenging, you know, it's hard to sell homes that, you know, people still aren't breaking even on because it costs them, let's just say, you know, $10 million to build, or they're all in at 10 and, you know, they're selling it for 6, or they're in at 15 and they're selling it for 8.5. So, you know, like they're great things, but it still makes it really difficult because the sellers still feel like they don't see that they're winning. They still feel like they're, you know, they're giving away the ranch. But, you know, our job is just really to kind of guide them. Sometimes, you know, you build these crazy houses, you're not going to get every dollar out that you put into it. And then it's explaining that to them. You know, we don't control the pricing. Like, we're not the ones buying the homes. It's the people that are writing the checks. So we have, you know, we've had a pretty good year with some big sales because the big houses have become in vogue thanks to COVID. So, you know, that's been good. But one of our biggest challenges that we kind of face, we do a lot of repositioning of properties. So sometimes we're not the first broker in, sometimes we're not the second broker. A lot of times we're the third broker in. And when you are the second or the third broker in, you can't go to market with the house looking exactly as it's looked every other time. You've got to be creative. You have to think like, how am I going to make this house look different? Does it need to be painted? Does it need to be staged? Do the window treatments need to come off? Does it need new furniture? Can we render it? Do they need new landscaping? Like, why hasn't this house sold? And being honest with them, saying, if you want to sell your house, this is what you need to do. And you can't do it after you get the listing. You got to do it, you know. So then it's kind of, you know, John was saying about being accountable. You know, you can't tell them, oh, well, your house hasn't sold because of this. We get listings because people say to us, our agent never gave us any feedback. All they did, they got the listing. We never heard from them again. So we don't know why people aren't buying our house. So, you know, it's our job to educate them because they're not realtors.
Right.
A little trick of the trade too is you hang out where you think people may of luxury hang out, right? So if you're going to grab a bite to eat, get it. Yeah, you know, you don't have to put so much money, you know, dinner you don't want to get, but if you want to sit, have light fare, and those where the clients can be that are going to be in your category. That's what we do. You know, we need to, if we're going to associate, whether we're become a member of a particular club or something. So we associate, and that's our networking, right? That's our schmoozing. It's all about relationships, right? You develop those relationships in certain areas, right? Where you're going to go. So it's very important as far as, you know, I guess farming your area, where to go and where those clients that you want are being hanging out, and they get to know you, right? So that's something you can do without putting any money real up front. Is just go and say, I'm going to get some light fare and a glass of wine, or I'm going to have a club soda and see, you know. So if those are the things that make a lot of sense, and it's easy to do.
I saw one question pop up in the chat, said, who pays for that new staging, et cetera? That's the owners, right, Andrea? The staging, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we don't, it's, you know, we don't pay for someone staging. I mean, you know, we've paid for a lot of things, you know, but we leverage our relationships so that we, you know, can get them the best cost for that. You know, we're responsible for marketing, but we're not responsible for renovating people's homes.
But here's to a great point of what you're saying about the staging. We found that with COVID, we found that you don't need to necessarily do physical staging as much anymore. We found that we have an in-house team that works on virtual staging, and we can sit there and pick out each piece of furniture, each carpet, rug, like lamp, and then we have all this staged in a home. And then if anybody sees it and is like, oh, we like this, we actually could offer them, well, here's where you can buy the house or the couch, the lamps, the rug, everything. We offer those services. So we found that virtual staging works really well a lot of the time, and you can save some money on that.
And tell us about your at the shore, how things are going down the shore. How's business? What have you been selling? Tell us about it. Is it still, you know, those secondary homes still flying off the shelf? Tell us, give us some feedback. We'd like to hear that.
I don't know if anyone else wants to weigh in, but
Say, I don't
Yeah,
think.
hi, this is Frida Thomas. How you doing?
Frida,
Okay.
hi Frida.
I put a house on the market. It was listed for $1,350,000. And we sold it the second day on the
Yeah.
market.
Where was the
And it
house?
Sold for $1,300,000. It was in Ventnor, New Jersey.
Yeah, it was close. How far away from the, was it towards the bay?
It was
Or
a block and a half from from the ocean.
Wow.
Nice. Did it need any work?
No, it was built 1 year ago, so it was brand new, pretty
Wow.
much.
What was the size of it? Was it, what was the square footage and how many
I
bedrooms?
think it was almost 2,600 square feet.
Okay,
But still, that seems cheap. That close to the beach.
yeah, I mean, that should have rang us up.
And it was like not in like the middle of the action. It was further down
Nice.
towards the end of Ventnor. But I felt it was like a very quiet neighborhood and a nice, it was not as busy.
Now,
So
how you gonna market that sale now? Now you sold it one day. Has that been one of your bigger sales, or is that your sweet spot in the million, right around that million mark?
one of my bigger sales. Yeah, I've
Okay.
sold houses in that price range, but not on a consistent basis.
All right, so how did you get that seller?
Past client.
Great.
I sold his house 2 years ago and I sold it very quickly and he was very happy with the way I handled it. So he called me again to relist, to list this property.
Now, can you put a sold it sign on there with your, of course, you got to put your brokers, whatever Keller Williams there, but can you put your name there?
Yes.
Yeah, so that's important to do because the communities at the shore too are much more tight, right? So everyone kind of sees what everyone else is doing. It's not like, in the city or, in the suburbs, it's pretty massive, right? So you'll have a more focused demo there, audience there, or clients there, customers there. And that's where you need to benefit from. Now you take that and you start putting it on your social posts, right?
Yes.
Start to reach out there. You should go to LinkedIn as well. I think LinkedIn is more professional and people look at that more so as a business than they do as just voyeuristic Facebook and just cruising, right? Instagram, yes, but I think, LinkedIn is more for that, higher end brand. And I make sure you keep a point of that and putting that out there and keeping it fresh and rebooting, that's important. Once you make a sale like that, you get it done in the day, capitalize on it.
Yeah.
Strike.
Should I wait?
Mailer.
Excuse me. Should I wait until they get their mortgage commitment and their contingency is under contract before I do
Yes.
that? Okay.
Yes.
Please.
Well, I mean,
Wait.
you could say under contract,
Yeah.
like you are under contract. So that would, there's nothing, I wouldn't necessarily wait, but as long as you're saying under contract, you're not really sold until you're sold.
Then that's a follow-up. That's
Yeah.
like that's an +1 to your marketing. So your first one's your first one's just listed and the next one's under contract and the third one's just sold. Now you've suddenly done 3 touches.
So put it under contract, although they don't have their mortgage commitment or their contingency.
Well, you could act on the MLS, you put it active under contract, right? You can
Yeah.
do that, right?
Once it's active under contract in the MLS, you could say it's under contract on social
I
media.
mean, we always say like, look, under contract in X days. And then once you're, pending and you've made it through your contingencies, like Michael was saying, then, you
Yeah.
can kind of,
Yeah. You're active
do-
on the contract. You're active on the contract is until the contingencies are met, right? And then once all those contingencies are met, it becomes pending, but then you really feel more secure. Right now, you're still in that, you haven't gotten through the goalposts
Yeah.
yet. Right? So active on the
Yes.
contract.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Well-
I don't want to cut anybody off. I saw one interesting question pop up that maybe John, you give a quick answer on this one, but I thought this was an interesting one. Teresa here said, I'm certified in crypto closing and metaverse and real estate consulting. I haven't seen this in Jersey yet, though in Florida. Do you have any people ask about that yet? And do you have any of your sellers ask for marketing to crypto buyers? I want to say probably not around here, right? But you were
No,
recently in Florida.
I can tell you this. I mean, when we're down in Florida, they're very big in crypto and, trading off, buying through crypto. Like you can get a mortgage now, jump like guaranteed rate, right? Here across the country. They do on Bitcoin and crypto, you can get a 30-year jumbo loan through your crypto, right? So they're leaning that way more. I mean, you got to keep in mind only 17% of America are really invested in crypto, but it's becoming more, more mainstream as time goes on, and it's expanding. So what I really look at in the crypto world is not so much pure crypto and Bitcoin and the mining and such. It's the blockchain that will take over real estate and title companies, right? The blockchain is the really cool thing in the universe. And the metaverse is great, but look at Facebook. It's fallen flat with the metaverse so far, right? Because it's still new to people, strange. What's the metaverse? I can be three-dimensional and go swimming in the ocean. How does that work? It's still out there to people. It's like science fiction a little bit. So, keep it on your radar, get to know the blockchains and smart contracts, because that has a lot to do with real estate and what's going to happen in the real estate industry when it switches over, and quite a few of the industries, healthcare and the whole 9 yards. So, but yeah, it's coming into play. I know Visa's using some crypto. They're going to have a crypto credit card. And, so when these big institutions start doing this, it gives more of a, safer feeling in the markets, even though the market has been crushed of late, both stock market and the crypto market.
Yep. There you go. Christine, any more questions?
I do. I actually follow Black Label on social media, and you can always tell there's a cohesion throughout everything.
Yeah.
How did you guys decide what your brand would look like? Because I feel like some people worry about starting something and they're like, oh, well, what font do I use? Like, what font says luxury, or what color? So like, how did you guys decide that? Was it trial and error?
We did a lot of experimenting, and I know a lot of people that I like and I worked with in New York that I'm constantly sending Michael over things of, the other groups, that do similar business, and, just trying to improve upon it. Whether it's color scheme or font or sizing or layout. So, I'm constantly inundating his email with, hey, let's try this. Let's maybe use something like this. So, it's not about reinventing the wheel, but it's trying to keep some cohesion. And, they're like John talked about earlier, like most, like the high-end brands, they have a certain clean look. They're not all this scrolly stuff. It's kind of, their message is clear. So, we experiment a lot. I mean, we try things, and we sometimes, like, when our newsletters, before it goes out, I'm a little anal. I look at them and I'm like, hey, this is, let's try this. Or Michael and Kaylee will come up with something a little different, just to see, like, what's our response rate? Are we getting a higher rate with a slightly different layout? So, it's not a one size fits all, and you kind of have to keep staying fresh and making tweaks as needed, as the market changes, as the product changes. So it's, I wish I had an easy answer, but I think it's.
I mean, our marketing director oversees the consistency, right? So he's our eyes if some, the consistency, right? Andrea's fantastic when it comes to, finishes and putting renderings together. It has that eye to do things that are just amazing. When you walk into an estate, or she knows right away what that particular tile is, or that is, or that. So that's an A+. And just so you know, when you're developing your team, or you're picking teams, or your leaders and such, make sure, you surround yourself with people that are actually, nice people, but also people that are smarter than you, right? You don't want to be the smartest person in the room, because you can learn from everyone else. And that's the way you keep cultivating and you're building your business, right? So when you're looking to get into a business or whatever you're going to do, no matter what it is, that's where you go. You go to with someone, A, you trust, and B, they're smarter than you, right? So, and that helps.
I will add on to all this really specific stuff, is that when I came on 3 years ago, that was one of the very first things I wanted to take care of. I wanted to create a precise brand, right? I wanted all the colors to match everywhere. I wanted all the fonts to match everywhere. So whether you're looking at that logo behind, behind me, Keller Williams Black Label, we use the same fonts on our website, on every print, everywhere. We use the same 2-3 fonts everywhere, and we do that intentionally. So everything, no matter where you're looking, is a consistent level. And it also goes back to the same thing I was talking about earlier is we try to connect to our clients on an emotional level. So again, if everything looks consistent, you look well put together, your colors are, for us, it's easy, black, white, silvers, grays, right? But it just starts at that feel and goes on to the physical touch of things when they get them. And they just, like, you guys are put together from head to toe, and even your marketing, everything. So very, very, very important to me.
Extremely.
And I do have one more question for you guys. What are your goals for this year?
Over the team goal?
Yeah, I mean, we try to set team goals, so I think we want to kind of definitely surpass the 120 million volume mark. We have, last year we added a couple agents, but they came on halfway through the year. So I think now, like, with everybody kind of all hopefully pitching in, we can do that. It's just finding the right product. It's hard, if you don't have you can have buyers, but if there's no listings to sell them, it makes it a little challenging. So it's,
Yeah, there's
I think you should be able, we're on track to do that. Michael knows kind of what we're projected for. So we, always like to beat the year before. So,
we always like to go higher.
I mean, I'd like to say yes.
Always
And not
higher,
just
right,
a little
John?
Higher, right? Like we want.
Yeah. We set the bar high. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
We set the bar high. So our bar was set at 200 million for this year. We did 118 last year. So we set the bar high, but the stumbling block may be, the lack of inventory. The inventory is, are you finding that too, down the shore, lacking inventory?
Totally. Yep.
Yes.
See, that's the biggest thing. That's holding every realtor back from, getting the sales they did last year, right? The pandemic shift has really shifted the mindset of many people, right? They're looking for more in the suburbs, grass, or they want to be by the ocean and, nomadic. They work from the shore, right? They work from a beautiful home on the main line. They work from Philadelphia, which is a lot easier living than New York City, and they're being nomadic. But the only thing I do know what's going on now is that the big company want their people to come back into work because they're losing a lot of money on office spaces and such. And they're saying the pandemic getting behind us even more so. So I think there'll be a shift more so back into the city a little bit because the mate like the JP Morgans and stuff, they want their people back in the offices, right? So you're going to start seeing more of a shift, I believe, back into the metropolitan areas for a while, with the offices beginning to open up and they feel their employees are more productive by being in the office. So there's some things going on there that will reflect the real estate market and may make the cities a little bit more attractive again.
Agree.
Which will help stabilize too, I think. Don't you think will stabilize the market a little bit more
Yeah,
by that
Yeah.
happening?
yeah, it will. It will. That's why we're on both sides of the fence. We're in the city and we're in the suburbs. We do have some input down the shore, but we really would like to have get a hold and develop a strong team in the shore location. That's what missing real piece is. And that's what we want to do. We want Black Label down the shore, and we want someone that's a high-end producer that's in charge and very savvy and in the know and ahead of the curve to lead the charge, because we've built up Black Label enough now that the people know us from coming down the shore, from the main line, from the city, but we don't have an established brand down the shore. We want that. So anyone there, you figure out how you can do it, or you want to be part of something, be a leader, a producer, and say, I would love to be a part of that. You can reach out to us and figure some things out, because we are missing that ingredient. We're ready to take a peek of the shore, but we need people in place there to run it. That's what we need.
Yeah,
We're too stretched out here. Andrea, myself, we're here, but we need a team down the shore.
I agree. Having somebody who's on the inside that's connected, that knows those off-market houses that are for sale, that are the
Yeah.
secondary homes, sure.
Who's looking to take their business to the next level.
Yep, that's what we're looking for. So guys, you're down the shore, figure it out, maybe, put it out there. Come up with something and we'll be there with Black Label, but we need a team in place and for us to make that.
I think some strong marketing would need to be put in place, because you're dealing with the island agents and they don't give up business.
Oh, I
And
know. It's
you
territorial
know
down there.
that. Yeah, you know that.
Yeah, we all know that. It's territorial down there. But you know what? There's enough of a pie. You can get a piece of the pie, right? You can't, like, same thing here in the city. There's territorial on the main line as agents. They're
Ladies on the square, the Rittenhouse Square lady, so.
yeah, they own it.
But there's, as you know, there's always strength in numbers.
Right.
Yeah.
Like we're very proud that, we made a big headway in the city and the suburbs, right? When they were saying we're not going to have a chance against the giants of the Berkshire Hathaways, the agents been around for 30 years, 20 years. We know what goes on down the shore. I've been big shore going. I know the territorial of them down there, right? They don't want to give up. I live down the shore. I can walk, I can go in my shorts, I can do deals, and I can make, put in my own pocket a year, $1 million, $1.5 million in my own pocket, right? They don't want to give that up, but if you're very aggressive and in a positive way, and with marketing, you can get a piece of the pie and have that. And we have the brand. It's Black Label Keller Williams Luxury. We have the brand. So that's a big part of it. But the biggest part is the person that's going to be running the show.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Any other questions?
I don't have any. Anyone else?
That's a great time for anybody else that wants to chime in or has some questions or anything. Yeah.
Are you guys getting ready to notice? How's the rentals been? They're through the roof, right?
There are none.
Yeah.
Yeah, there are none. It's the same with housing. It's
Hey,
crazy.
do you know what your biggest sale was in your area? You're in Atlantic City, right?
right outside.
Yeah, Margate Longport.
Okay, what was the biggest sale? I know there was one of our clients I saw, I think, was in Longport, Andrea. They sold $10 million property. Yeah.
Use
10 million. Wow.
they had a Long and Foster agent that it sold for north of 10 million.
Wow.
Yeah, so there's whales down there, right? So
Yes.
We present them here. We represent all their properties here, and if you had a great agent, that would have, been.
frozen.
Cutting out, Andrea.
Could
Kinda-
you repeat that, please?
Oh,
She's
well,
bad signal. She's cutting out.
I said that, can you guys hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah.
So the sellers that sold the $10.6 million property in Longport that used the Long and Foster agent, they were our clients. We represent them on multiple properties here. So if we had a really strong agent at the shore, that would have been their listing.
Yeah.
That's
That
a
would-
perfect example of,
Yep.
what we could have it could have been a Black Label listing if
Yep.
we had the right presence in place.
10 million. Holy cow.
Because they actually asked us, like, can you help us? Can you list it? And it was, it was a little hard because they gave it to Long and Foster. And we kind of got looped in after, and
Yeah.
it sold right away.
Hey guys, this is Valerie Kilburn. I am dealing, I've sold one property on Long Beach Island. Would love to assist on Long Beach Island. If you have any clients coming down here, I live about 20 minutes off of the island.
Yeah, I mean, listen, we want more of a team in place, right? We could reach out. We have people down there, right? But we didn't have a person at that time. We needed the team because the person is not going to handle, even though we're clients and do well for them, they're business people. They want to make sure that they're going to have someone overseeing it and making sure it's going to be done the right way and frankly, be there 24/7.
Mhm.
So that's what we need. That's what we need from you got from you guys, if you can put something together, or, we'd love to develop a team. That's what we really want to do. We want to develop a luxury team. You have Black Label, Keller Williams, and that's what we want to do. So brainstorm, think about it, and if you're truly interested, you'll want to do it and create a way to figure something out. But that's what we want to do. So that's our main goal. That's the next piece of the puzzle that we must do in order to be, complete with the suburbs to the city, to the shore.
Nice.
John, I'd be happy to help you out. I cover Margate, Ventnor, and Longport. The other sale I had was for 898,000 I sold, and that sold within a few weeks. And
Nice.
the client wanted to sell it the year before, which was a year ago, for 780. And I told him to wait another year, and I got him 100,000 more.
Nice.
Right.
Nice.
So, I mean,
yeah.
the market is there. And, I mean, we could talk. I'd be happy to, I've been in the business 29 years.
Wow.
I lived in
Talk to you guys.
Longport for 12 years.
Mhm.
My fiance is he lived there all his life in Longport, so I know the area very well.
Well, what you do is send us your contacts to us, right? So we have you, and we know what we have point of contact for, Margate, Ventnor, Longport.
Perfect.
All
Yeah.
right?
So, I mean, most of our clients, they live Philadelphia, they live Gladwin, they live, Villanova, they're all, if they have a shore home, 95% of them are between, I would say, Margate to Stone
Yeah.
Harbor.
Yeah, Margate to Stone Harbor is really.
A big bulk.
Yeah, so-
Margate, Longport, Ocean City, there's, that's all of our clients. They all have, most of them have shore homes. So. be
Well,
great.
I would
Yeah,
be
like John
willing.
said, send us your email.
Yeah, I would be willing to go as far as Stone Harbor if it was beneficial.
Yeah,
I don't
Okay.
mind,
Yeah.
mind driving 45 minutes to an hour to do that, to take care of a client. If it's all about the service with me as an agent.
Hmm.
So if I get along good with that agent, we connect, I'll go above and beyond for that client to make sure they're satisfied and the team is happy.
who is this? I don't see the name. I don't see the name.
Frida Thomas.
Oh, Frida Thomas. Okay, thank you. All right.
Just so everybody knows, Mike just put his contact information into the chat. So if you are interested in that, or if you have any further questions from today's call, feel free to reach out to Mike and he can handle it or route it however. But I mean, I think we went through my whole list of questions. Anyone else? All right. So we will
Alright.
definitely keep our ear out for anybody that can help lead your team down here. And if there's ever anything that you guys need from us, please let us know.
Yeah, thank you for everybody for attending. It was really
Thank
nice.
you.
So much for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank
That was great information.
Yeah, thank you. Take care,
I'll
everybody.
be in touch,
Appreciate
John.
it.
Thank you.
Okay.
Take care.
Okay, take care.
Bye-bye.